order, 6 o'clock on this Monday, May the 16th. And first we'll have our invocation. Dr. Cobb, would you please do us the honor?
Please stand if you can. Edon, Galaloe, Ojali Haley, Jedon, Iskistali Has, Ogi, Listi. Father in heaven, we are thankful that you are here to help us understand. We ask you to do and vote and think to do what's best for the Cherokee Nation and our people. We ask you to watch over the United States, all of our military, all of their families around the world, and we ask that you help us make good decisions tonight. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Cobb. Ms. Britton, roll call.
Buell England.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Bradley Cobb.
Honey.
Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghoff.
Here.
Meredith Fraley.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright.
Here.
Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskins Jr.
Here.
Ina Glory Jordan. Present. Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Soap.
Here.
David Thornton.
Present.
Kara Cowan Watts.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Next order of business is approval of the April 11 regular session minutes.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes as written? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next we have State of the Nation, Principal Chief Chad Smith.
Good evening. It's my pleasure and honor to address you here in the State of the Nation, May 11th, 2011. That's not quite right, is it? Before I begin my report, let's pay tribute to our Cherokee friends and family members who have passed on this last month. We will ask for a moment of silence as we remember the following friends and their family members. Wanda McGehee, the mother of Shelley Britton. Millie Jackson Summerfield of the J community. Michael Clinton. Dan Hayes, family member of numerous Cherokee Nation employees. Richard Drywater, employee of the Attorney General's office for more than a decade. Anna Louise, an employee of Hastings Hospital for over 27 years. And I know there's others that members of the council would like to recognize. Yes.
Marty Binge, Kite Farrington, Elshire, and she was a cousin to Mary Kay Henderson and a descendant of Nancy Ward.
Mary Alice Doolin, the Braggs.
Yes, sir.
Stephen Gooding from Delaware County.
Okay.
And the Atchison of Muskogee, whose daughter-in-law works at the clinic in Muskogee.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, Wendell Phillips of Bahia.
Yes, sir.
Chief Jeffrey Robertson, Oklahoma.
Okay. If there's no others, let's take a moment aside. Yes.
I have one more. Webb Dick. He used to be an employee here at the Cherokee Nation. Actually worked for me at the Water Sanitation and Engineering program. So Webb Dick, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let's have a moment of silence, please. Widow. It has been our custom and honor, as instituted by Joe Grayson, our Deputy Chief. We are to honor 3 veterans tonight with our highest medal of patriotism to acknowledge contributions and sacrifices not only to the United States, but on behalf of the Cherokee Nation. Our first veteran tonight is John Parks. He was born in 1928 in Juanita, Nebraska, to John and Laura Clayton. His parents moved to Oklahoma when he was young, and he graduated from high school in Bartlesville in 1946. Enlisted in the United States Navy after graduation. John served for a year and a half in Guam before returning to San Francisco, where he was discharged. He returned to Bartlesville, where he joined his dad and brother in the ready-mix concrete business. John is retired and lives with his wife, Joyce, in Hominy. Would you let me ask you to come down just a moment, because I understand your brother is here too. John's brother, Darrell Parks, was born in 1929, also in Juanita, Nebraska. He graduated from Dewey High School in Oklahoma in 1949. On March 15th, 1952, Darrell was drafted into the Army to fight in the Korean War. He took his training in California. After a 10-day leave, he reported to Camp Stoneman, California, and was shipped to Korea. After serving 11 months and 6 days on the front lines, the ceasefire agreement was signed between North and South Korea on July 27, 1953. Darrell returned to home in Oklahoma and to Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. He was honorably discharged in 1958. Darrell and his wife Priscilla have 2 children, Kenneth and Cynthia, as well as 6 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. They reside in Muskogee. If you will come down, please, and let us recognize your service to the nation and to our country.
Did you see that's judged into post with his daughter? Pass that to Shelley. I judge Rose.
Care to say a word? Would you turn this way, please? Would you care to say a word to people?
Well, I'm proud to be a Cherokee. And I served in the Korean War. And I like to think that I went over there and finished it. But that's not so. And I appreciate this award. Thank you.
Do I get one?
Sir, it gives us great honor and pleasure to present you with the Cherokee.
What again?
Gives us great honor and pleasure to present to you the Cherokee National Medal of Patriotism. It is an award you have earned. You did not win this, you earned it.
Thank you.
Sir,
You the chief?
I am.
All right.
Would you care to say a word, sir?
Well, I live over in Osage County, and everybody over there is chief. All in. But I did a tour on Guam for about a year and a half, and we were bored to death over there. There was nothing. But I am pretty thankful that we was over there, because Cork was getting shot at while I was sitting over there sweating it out.
Thank you so much for your service.
That's his brother.
Next is our privilege to honor Carl E. Guthrie, who was born in Tahlequah in 1939, to Ellis and Ollie Guthrie, and was raised in Adair County. After graduating from Stillwell High School, he attended Haskell Institute in Lawrence, Kansas, studying refrigeration and air conditioning, and later received a degree as a medical technologist in St. Louis, Missouri. Carl enlisted in the Army, and after basic training, he went to Fort Sam Houston, and later was assigned to the U.S. Army Medical Research Lab at Fort Knox, Kentucky in 1962. He assisted with research on military operational problems that resulted in the hearing loss of servicemen and other operation problems such as communication. He maintained and operated equipment that tested people's exposure to sounds from helicopters, tanks, gunfire, and other sources. This technical assignment required a high level of skill, not only in dealing with the equipment, but it's also interacting with the people who used it in the studies. Carl was instrumental in developing the acoustic reflex device, a device designed to decrease hearing loss in service members subjected to the highest noise levels as part of their jobs. That device is still in use today. When Carl's tour of duty was completed, he was hired at the Medical Research Lab to continue his research. Carl now lives in the Hungry Mountain area in Adair County. He enjoys farming and spending time with his family, teaching his grandchildren about the Cherokee culture and history. Mr. Guthrie, if you'll allow us to recognize you, sir.
Okay, good.
Sir, we give this great honor and pleasure to present you the Cherokee National Medal of Patriotism. It is an award you have earned, it is not given. We thank you for your service to our country. That's good.
Well, I feel undeserving. There's many Cherokees that, got shot at, crawled around the jungles on their stomach and everything else. I was lucky not to have to do it. I did serve as honorary assigned to House and in the field that I was assigned to, but I just feel I'm undeserving.
I don't need to say you earned that medal.
Thank you.
And this,
Last week I was in Washington, D.C. and had the opportunity to be at the Pentagon. And I asked about 9/11 if there was a memorial. It turns out there's a memorial similar to the Vietnam's Veterans Memorial, where all those that were killed at the Pentagon, whose names listed and their history is displayed. And so, just like at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, they provided vellum that you could actually sketch over the name of those perished. And one of those was a Cherokee young man from Sperry. Brian Moss lost his life in the service of the country on 9/11. So we'll pass that around and remind us that a lot of our veterans sacrifices have been even of most recent times. In program news and service updates, the Cherokee Nation continues to make great strides forward in improving comprehensive health care to our citizens. Late last month, we celebrated the opening of a new dental clinic and facility expansion at the Salina Omo Health Center. The clinic expects to start scheduling patients in the beginning of this June. The dental clinic has the latest and greatest technologies and will serve as a great asset to the community. And it's also a testament to our speaker, who regularly, if not daily, continued to advocate for that clinic. The Cherokee Nation's Women, Infants, and Children's program is also opened an education center for new mothers. The center is designed to educate women about infant health problems and support new mothers. The Cherokee Nation Emergency Medical Services has received another 3-year accreditation by the Commission on the Accreditation of Ambulance Services and was approved with a perfect score. Leach Public Schools now have rural water thanks to the hundreds of hours of work by community volunteers. Leach was the last school in Delaware County to operate on a water well. Leach students and staff, Cherokee Nation officials, and community members all worked on the water line. Connecting the water line to the school was just one part of the 24-mile project in the Leach area. The contractor completed the heaviest work, laying 12 miles of 10 and 12-inch line. Now the Leach community members are connecting this first phase portion to their homes. After that, the Leach community will begin to lay another 12 miles of smaller lines. This is a self-help portion of the main line. With the completion of this project, residents won't have to rely on well water, which sometimes can run low during droughts and get contaminated. This 24-mile water line project will bring safe water to 138 families and about 50 non-Indian families who can participate if they wish. The Cherokee Nation contributed labor and a portion of the $1.7 million cost. The main line will be connected to the Flint Ridge District. The Cherokee Nation's water and sanitation staff and our community services group is doing an excellent job with this project, so the next time you see them, congratulate them for work well done. 6 Sequoia seniors were named Gates Millennium Scholars, an honor that entitles them to one of the most prestigious scholarships in the country. It pays for college tuition, books, fees, board, and room for up to 8 years of higher education. Since 1999, 44 Sequoia School graduates have been awarded these scholarships, a tremendous accomplishment for a small school. So kudos to the students for their hard work and to the faculty and their college prep teacher, Augusta Smith, for helping them reach their potential. In general announcements, we will host an ethnobiology conference at Cherokee Plants and People on Thursday, May 19th and Friday, May 20th. The conference includes presentations from traditional plant experts and a guided nature walk to help give hands-on plant identification. This week, Cherokee Nation Elder Care is hosting the 4th annual open house to celebrate Older Americans Month, Friday, May 20th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're still taking applications for Camp Cherokee. There'll be a series of camps throughout the Cherokee Nation will provide students an enriching cultural and academic experience. For more information, visit camp.cherokee.org. We participated in the Stillwell Strawberry Festival this year, and the Education Department's robotic-themed float won 2nd place. It was a great event, lots of participation, lots of strawberry, very cool for that day. And Speaker Fraley gave me the honor to introduce 2 young men who achieved the honor of Eagle Scout. They're here tonight, and it's a special honor for me to give because I too am an Eagle Scout. Each of my 3 brothers were Eagle Scout. My dad, a full-blood Cherokee, was a troop master. And for it's a school of thought, it's a training, it's an education that's invaluable and serves young men for the rest of their lives. And I commend each of you. So Mr. Christian Considine and Mark Hudall, would you please come down and let us recognize you? Speaker, would you care to come forward?
It's hard to squeeze behind some of these counselors.
Congratulations again.
Care to say a word?
It's a real honor to be presenting these here. Thank you.
Boy Scouts is a great program, and being an Eagle Scout is a tremendous honor, as well as this, so thank you.
project they've completed in order.
Please, would you explain what the projects are?
My project was restriping my church's parking lots and repainting all the lines. Yeah, it was pretty straight.
And I built up a fence around my an area at my church. So
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes my State of the Nation. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chief Smith. Next order of business is action of unfinished business. There being none pending, we move on to committee reports. First report is the Housing Authority, Mr. Sutherland.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Housing Authority Board meeting for May, we've canceled that. We're shy one commissioner. We have sent a couple of names in for consideration later this month at Rules Committee. And if those go well, we'll have a meeting in June. We've received a total of 12 FEMA trailers from the Hope, Arkansas pile that they had down there. This is during in the last 30 days. We've used those as replacement homes for elderly, disabled, and handicapped families. According to Wayne Sims, the Regional Director for the Southern Plains Office of Native American Programs, there are no more FEMA trailers at Hope, Arkansas. He said the lot was empty. So that'll be, sounds like that'll be all of those that we are able to obtain. I'm still holding out hope to obtain a few mobile homes formerly owned by the Cookson Hills Community Action Agency. I submitted an application to the state on behalf of the Housing Authority to purchase some of those mobile homes. They requested additional information, which I thought was good news because I didn't know how far to go. There's a clause in that application that we'd have to sign that states we will not discriminate. Well, we only serve Cherokees or other Native Americans in some situations, but so I can't sign that clause that we won't discriminate. But the fact that she asked for more information, I'm still hopeful. We should know in the next 30 days, I would think, because there's other agencies that have gotten some of those mobile homes. So we really like to get some of those if we could. Housing Rehab received about a dozen inquiries about assistance as a result of the high water, the flooding. We've got about a half a dozen of those back as of last week. I'm working with Charlie Soap and his staff to try to use all the tribal funds that we can. When we use federal funds, we're very limited on what we can do. We're experiencing some issues with the new FEMA maps that have been issued within the last year. Places that weren't in a floodplain are now in a floodplain. I've asked HUD for some exceptions in some cases where there are mutual homes that are paid off that were okay years ago. Now they're not. We're hoping we get some exceptions to that regulation. The federal funds, they require flood insurance before you do any work on them. Actually, before you can even get an environmental, you got to have flood insurance. But even with the flood insurance, we're real limited on what we can do. And as far as the homes that are still under management and apartments, we didn't have any damage due to the flooding. I kind of lost my place here, Speaker, but I think that's all my report for tonight. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Comments for Mr. Sutherland? Looks like you did good.
Thank you.
Thank you. There are 3 business entities listed. Mr. Stewart will report on all 3 under Cherokee Nation business.
Good evening. I'm reporting on February financial results, and as you know, at the casino we had one of the casinos that collapsed. And then the other casinos had about a week where we could have no customers, so we had didn't have that good financial results for February, but we're seeing good results in March and April. And the financial statements do not include the business interruption insurance. Fortunately, we had insurance to cover our loss of revenue at that casino, so you'll see an accumulation of that income that will hit the books in a couple of months once we know the exact amount that it is. We're sending in the claim to the company next week, so that's an uptick on the financial results. Our companies are doing well financially. Some of the highlights, the logistics group operated by Russell Claybrook as a Cherokee that we put in there about, 3 or 4 months ago. They were just notified by the SBA that they received a $50 million addition to the Huntsville contract, and that's a piggyback to the existing $20 million that they have, so that's a good news story. CCRC was awarded the SBA's 2011 Prime Contractor Award. She went to Washington, D.C. to receive that. On the jobs front, the Jobs Well Done program, which is essentially a collaboration of all of the companies where we post all of the jobs in one central location. It also consists of internships, apprenticeships, and job placement policies for the people that come on board. It's also the first time that we put in the day work program at C&E in the businesses. So that is a program that's kind of in its infancy. It just kicked off, so we'll be notifying you of the progress of that. On the topic of jobs, our percentage of Cherokee stands at about 59%. Total Native is about 70%. And then we did some research on our employees that are not Native and their impact on the household. And we have Cherokees actually in the household of those people. So it puts our total effect of about 85% of our employees are impacting our Native people. So that's also good information. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments, Mr. Stewart? Thank you for that brief report. Next order of business is old business, it being none pending, we move to new business. And out of Rules Committee, we have item 1.
Madam Speaker.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I would ask that we amend the agenda to include 3 items from Resource Committee that due to the timeliness of the grant application would require it to be tonight. So item 6 would be for the Brownsfield grant to the EPA. Item 7 would be for the solid waste management grant to the EPA. And item 8 would be to the Department of Interior for Energy and Minerals Development Program or the hydropower. And I make a motion to amend the agenda to add all 3 as items 6, 7, and 8.
Motion.
Moved in second. Any discussion on amending the agenda? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. So we'll add items 6, 7, and 8.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Okay, first item under new business is a resolution that authorizes choice of law, choice of venue for third-party billing. Dr. Cobb?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This resolution authorizes choice of law and choice of venue clause. Essentially, Oklahoma Healthcare Authority requires the Cherokee Nation to enter into billing agreements for its various health services in order to bill Medicaid and collect funds for services provided by Cherokee Nation Health Services. This resolution, the Council of the Cherokee Nation hereby authorizes the Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation to negotiate the choice of law and choice of venue clause in Medicaid billing agreements between the Cherokee Nation and the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority. Specifically, such agreements shall call for federal law to govern the agreements and for the venue for any actions arising from the agreements to be the United States District Court, Western District of Oklahoma. I'd move for its approval.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carries. Item 2 is a resolution authorizing a limited waiver of sovereign immunity for Microsoft Language Project. Dr. Coates?
Yes, this is to enable the chief to negotiate a non-disclosure agreement between the Cherokee Nation and Microsoft for the language localization project, and I would move for its approval.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3 is an act repealing certain gaming legislation. And Ms. Cal-Watts, do you want to take this?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. If there are questions, I see Jamie Hummingbird at the back of the room, who is the director of our Gaming Commission. I think we discussed this in committee a number of times, but this is just a technical cleanup for our Cherokee Nation Gaming Code. And it's only one of the many layers to our audit and compliance process. The Cherokee Nation Gaming Commission and our tribal laws affecting gaming are on, in addition to the Horse Racing Commission, Oklahoma Gaming Commission, and the National Indian Gaming Commission, plus external and internal audit that all audit our gaming operations. And I appreciate the work of Jamie Hummingbird and his staff in making sure that we were in complete compliance with the technical aspects of the law and policy. And I move for approval.
Second.
By acclamation.
By acclamation, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
No.
Did good, Jamie. Item 4 is a resolution honoring Ron Cooper. Mr. Thornton.
Yes, Madam Chair. When I first heard about this, Mr. Cooper was in Missouri, and he started from Tennessee. And if I'd known, I'd have walked with him. But since he was halfway, I could never catch him. So I decided to get up this resolution. This is a resolution honoring Ron Cooper for his tribute to the Cherokee people in re-tracking their steps along the Trail of Tears. Whereas the Cherokee Nation since time immemorial has exercised the sovereign rights of self-government on behalf of the Cherokee people, and whereas the Cherokee Nation is a federally recognized Indian nation with a historic continual government-to-government relationship with the United States of America, and whereas the trail where they cried, or the Trail of Tears, as it became known, was a product of the Indian Removal Act, which caused the forcible removal of Native people, including the Cherokee, from their ancestral homelands. Retrospectively, this act has been universally condemned and is a dark stain on the history of the United States. And whereas Ron Cooper, a citizen of the federally recognized Comanche tribe, has walked the Trail of Tears from Tennessee to Oklahoma, known as the Northern Route, which is approximately 800 miles. And whereas Ron Cooper has brought honor to those who have suffered and died along the trail, and reminds all Cherokee people that this part of the history should never be forgotten. And whereas the Cherokee Nation is grateful for individuals who recognize that the removal of the Cherokee people and other Native Americans was a terrible injustice, and that it is important to keep this memory alive. Now therefore be it resolved by the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council that Ron Cooper be recognized as a person of honor in his actions and deeds in bringing attention to those who suffered and died on the Trail of Tears. I'll put that into a motion.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 5 is an act authorizing Mod 7 to the 2011 fiscal year budget. Mr. Baker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This budget, Mod 7, has grants of $637,000, which includes the road construction program of $74,000, a tobacco usage prevention award of $50,000, and from Citgo Heating Fuel, a grant for light heat for $515,000. There's also an increase in the budget authority of $627,000, which includes an increase in the consumer loan funds of $315,000, and also for new dental equipment at the new Salina Dental Lab of $279,000. And it brings our total budget authority of just over $629 million. And I make a motion that it be approved by acclamation.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing a grant application to the EPA for a Brownsville grant. Town Watch.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This grant is for up to $300,000 and requires no match. I request move for approval.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now, Watch, you have the next two.
Thank you. On item number 7, this grant is to the EPA for Solid Waste Management Program grants, which includes dump sites as well as training funds for our Intertribal Environmental Council, which is a group that we operate which trains other tribes concerning environmental issues. It's for $100,000 and zero match. I move for approval.
Second. Moved in second. Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And item number 8, this grant is the Department of Interior under the Energy and Minerals Development Program. It's for $1 million and no match. It's phase 4 of our hydroelectric project, which has been going on for several years, I believe including under Chief Swimmer's administration, and now he's able to continue that work. And we appreciate the work of Carol Wyatt, who's here with us today, who's the project coordinator. And specifically, it's at the W.D. Mayo Lock and Dam number 14 on the Arkansas River. I would move for approval with one clarification, that Jody Fishing Hawk be removed as a sponsor because she was not in the room unless she wants to be added at this time.
Who's in second?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Second.
Mr. Hoskin, did you have?
I just wanted on information. I thought the documentation showed Councilor Fishing Hawk on there, so I just wanted to see if there was.
I asked if she would, but she was not in the room at the time to give her approval for sponsorship during committee. So at this time, that we would need to technically clarify, would you want to be on as a sponsor?
If you would let me.
I asked for everyone, but you weren't in the room. That's why I'm asking to just clarify, so. I would welcome her, and it sounds like she accepted, so move for approval with her. Thank you.
I don't know.
Moved in second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now, are there any announcements? I have one. The Locust Grove, Mr. Thornton, Locust Grove High School boys won first in 4A class baseball. First place.
What?
You want me to repeat it? Okay. Locust Grove High School boys. And also, we at Locust Grove had 8 Gates Scholars, Cherokee. Any other announcements? Any other announcements?
Move to adjourn.
Oh, one moment. We have several candidates in the audience. Would you mind standing and introducing yourselves? Oh, yeah. Glad you're here.
Pamela Iron, District 1, Seat 3. I was here last council meeting. Glad to have you.
Junior Sierra, District 1, Seat 3.
Thanks for coming.
Jack Bob Martin, about all of you in Oklahoma.
Glad you're here.
John Query, District 1, Seat 3.
Thanks for coming, all of you.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor, signify by saying, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Thornton.
I'm just pulling money out.
I'm pulling money out here.
Going to donate to our baseball boys?
Now, I would like to tell you about my granddaughter. She goes to school at Vine, Oklahoma, and she's a 7th grader. And so she's enrolled in a Technology Student Association. So they went to the regionals, and she won a first place there in the regionals. So she went to the state, and she won a first place in communication and first place in invention. And I think you've got somebody that was there too. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to relay that old, said she won the state. So I've got a two-time state champion there,
She's a
Ty.
pretty girl, too.
Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Fishing Hawk?
I've got a little boy, Hunter Fishing Hawk, that placed first in state, and he's going to nationals in structural engineering. And his car was the fastest in structural design in the state, and he's going to nationals in June.
Congratulations.
Couldn't afford to go.
He takes after his mama, Meredith. He takes after his mama.
Oh, of course. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Oh.